Good morning and welcome to Practical Christian Lessons. We're going to go over Wisdom of Sirach 38 today. If you missed our live stream this past Saturday, watch our two previous videos for this week and you'll get a little bit more information on that. Go to the channel, check live streams, check video, and there should be something about it there. We're going to jump right on into chapter 38 this morning. Honoring the physician. Honor the physician with the honor due him, and also according to your need of him. For the Lord created him. Healing comes from the Most High, and he will receive the gift from the King. The physician's skill will lift up his head, and he shall be admired in the presence of the great. The Lord created medicines from the earth, and a sensible man will not loathe them. Is not water made sweet by wood, that its strength might be known? And he gave skill to men that he might be glorified in his wonders. By them he heals and takes away pain, a druggist making a compound of them. God's works are never finished, and from him health is upon the face of the earth. My son, do not be negligent when you are sick, but pray to the Lord, and he will heal you. Depart from transgression, and direct your hands aright, and cleanse your heart from every sin. Offer a sweet-smelling sacrifice after a memorial of the finest wheat flour, and pour oil on your offering, as if you are soon to die. And keep in touch with your physician, for the Lord created him, and do not let him leave you, for you need him. There is a time when success is also in their hands, for they will pray to the Lord, to give them success in bringing relief and healing, for the sake of preserving your life. He who sins before the one who made him, may he fall into the hands of a physician. My son, let your tears fall for the dead, and as one suffering grievously begin to lament. With the honor due him wrap his body, and take care of his burial. Weep bitterly and lament fervently. Do your mourning according to what he deserves, for a day or two to avoid slander. Then be comforted for your grief, for grief is a cause of death, and a grief-stricken heart will sap your strength. Grief also abides in misery, and the life of a poor man weighs down his heart. Do not give your heart to grief. Drive it away, remembering the end of life. Do not forget, for there is no one coming back. And you cannot help the dead man by grieving, but will only injure yourself. Remember my end, since yours is also like it. Mine yesterday, yours today. When the dead man is at rest, let his remembrance cease, and be comforted for him in the exodus of his spirit. The wisdom of a scribe depends on his opportunity for quiet, for when he has little business, he will be made wise. How will he who handles the plow be made wise? For he boasts in the shaft of the goad, and he drives oxen and is occupied with their labors. And his talk is about young bulls. His heart is set on plowing furrows, and he keeps watch to feed his heifers. The same is true for every craftsman and architect, who works by night as well as by day. Those who engrave the signets of seals, he is diligent to make great variety. His heart set on creating a lifelike image, and keeping watch to perfect his work. So too is the blacksmith sitting near the anvil, examining closely his ironworks, the breath of the fire melting his flesh as he struggles within the heat of the furnace. He inclines his ear to the sound of a hammer, and his eyes are focused on the likeness of the object. He sets his heart on the completion of his works, and keeps watch to perfect its detail. The potter as well, sitting by his work, and turning the potter's wheel with his feet. He is always careful about the quality of his work, and also the quantity of his output. With his arm he molds the clay, and with his feet he curves it. His heart is set on finishing the glazing, and he is careful to clean the furnace. All these trust in their hands, and each is skilled in his work. Without them a city will not be livable, nor will anyone sojourn or live there. Yet they will not be sought out for the counsel of the people, and they will not gain prominence in the assembly. They do not sit in the judge's seat, nor will they understand the sentence of judgment. They cannot give instruction in discipline or judgment, nor will they be found using parables, but they will keep the fabric of the world stable, and their prayers in the practice of their craft. That's Wisdom of Sirach 38. And every time I hear potter, I am thinking of he who is the potter of the clay. It's a reference to the Lord. What I'm saying is a reference to the Lord. He's quite literally talking about potters here. But that's what I'm thinking about as he was talking about the physicians being a gift from God. And I mean, we see in Romans, in the actual scriptures, Paul talks about how governance is something given by the Lord as well for specific purposes. But healers are much the same way, and right, the Lord brings the rain on the wicked and the righteous. But the same with the gifts that are all throughout the world, whether that's medicine, whether that's technology, right? Whatever gifts are around you and luxuries and benefits that in some way comes from the Lord, whether directly or indirectly. And I think that's something we really underappreciate in our modern world. We tend to be very pragmatic, doesn't feel like the right word, but very naturally logical, where we are so focused on what we physically see, right? What is a rainstorm? Oh, it's a bunch of water that starts here and then evaporates and goes back up in the atmosphere and then comes down. A lot of people seem to stop thinking about seasons of rain and such as gifts from God and more of just these natural events, even in the Christian world. And it's the same with medicine, right? People make it in test tubes, or they'll ground ingredients up and make powder, whatever. People seem to just focus on the very natural aspects, but these are gifts from God, right? At the very least, the materials that make these things up, including the rain, come from God. But I would have a very much higher view, right? Every rainstorm is specifically a gift from God, stuff like that, right? As much as I lament my front yard and having to mow it regularly, it's very good for, we need the rain for harvest, for gardens, for flowers that we can enjoy, that are beautiful, etc. And I think that's something we really need to grasp onto and appreciate in our modern world. And just start, yes, appreciating the work that goes into medicine or technologies or whatever it is that we're benefiting from, that their man does have a role to play in these things. But at the end of the day, it is still a gift from God. And the good things and luxuries and wonderful inventions we have now, we can enjoy them and also give thanks to God for them. Even if God isn't the one we see making the thing, He is ultimately the one behind the good things of this world. And that is a great way to be grateful and look at all the things in your life. It's a wonderful, cheesy Christmas video, and I love it, where the guy wakes up and like everything in his house is gift wrapped: his wife, his kids, the faucet, the car keys, the fridge, the table, his shoes, his suitcase, his car, and it's just entertaining. But that's the kind of mindset I'm encouraging here today. And think of literally everything good as a gift from God in some sense. And with that, hopefully that is a way to be grateful in all situations. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.